Hello and welcome to The Gallery, A Woman's Perspective. On this program, we discuss anything and everything about women. As many will agree, a successful and happy marriage is every woman's dream. But when some do get married, they become complacent and believe the illusion of, I already have my safe haven. And that's why our searchlight today beams on keeping an old marriage vibrant. The sanctity, beauty, unity, and joy of a blissful marriage hang on a thin line, while the importance to keep it vibrant is often ignored. So how can women keep their marriages vibrant, especially when the years have rolled by? Many thanks for joining us. I am Siju Alabi. I often wondered how my guest has managed to keep it together despite the advancing years, because I mean, she gives the real meaning of aging gracefully. And she is Mrs. Tola Ajayi. She is a relationship expert, a registered nurse, and a counselor. So who else can come on the show but you? You're so welcome.
Thank you so much
for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
I mean, let me just go straight to the point by just bringing it home. You've been married for 30 years.
32 actually.
Ooh, an extra 2. Okay. And that's, I mean, by no means that's no joke. What's the secret? Let's start with that.
Well, I wouldn't say there is any specific secret. Maybe one. And that's the God factor, because I believe that any marriage can survive if you both have God in your lives. So there is really no secret to it. Yeah.
No secret.
Well,
there must be something. I'm going to get some things out of you, definitely. Because, I mean, to start with, why is it important to keep our marriages vibrant, and give us a comparison of maybe young and old marriage so that we can start talking?
Okay. Unfortunately, marriages are not the same as they used to be nowadays because of various things. And I would say maybe peer pressure from the internet. Everybody wants to have a good marriage on the internet. Everybody wants to, show the whole world what marriage is, which is not. I think that's where the problem is. In our own days, you're not showing anybody what your marriage is. Whatever whatever you're doing, it's between the two of you and your family in your home. So it's not shown to anybody out there. You don't see pictures of wedding, splashed all over the newspapers and all that. But nowadays, people just want to get married for people to see, what they can offer in terms of money, in terms of wealth, in terms of,
social standing.
Social standing, everything. They just want to show off. And so the real sense of what marriage is being lost. That's it. A lot of people are not prepared for marriage. They just want to have that day. My day must come. I recently I heard, I think I read, or maybe someone told me that a couple had to part ways because the wife wants a destination marriage, and the groom says not, and that puts an end to the preparation and everything. So that's exactly what is happening now.
Sometimes I wonder, where is the love? Isn't that supposed to play the paramount role, particularly for the young marriages? And in the older ones, I believe that, tolerance and more of, understanding each other more, give and take was very crucial. And now it's like, if it's not my way, then it's no way. Am I saying the right thing?
Yes, you are. Yes, you mentioned something very crucial. You said love. Well, I don't believe that anybody will want to go into any marriage without love. But we need to define what the love is. You know, there's no man or woman that says, okay, let's get married. There is an atom of love there. But the problem is what happens when they get into their home. The love that you have for each other is not going to sustain your marriage. Commitment is going to sustain your marriage. Unfortunately, a lot of people go into marriages thinking that what we had, before we got married, the butterfly in your tummy will still continue. Unfortunately, it's not going to continue because now there is reality. The man is coming from a different background, the woman is coming from a different background. So both of you will have to come together and align your backgrounds together to have a common goal. So it's not going to be love. Love is still there because you can't even, work together if there's no love. But commitment is what is going to sustain the marriage. And unfortunately, a lot of people are not willing to do that because the woman wants the man to take all the responsibilities, care for me, all that we've been reading in Mills and Bones in those days. You now want to bring it into marriage. It's not going to work.
At some point, I also think compromise also plays a crucial role.
Very, 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 very crucial. Very, very.
I mean, are there signs for women to be cautious of, to alert them if or when the marriage is going south?
Well, I was speaking to a young lady today who is into a relationship, and I heard from someone that the guy hit her. They're not married. And I told her, is something wrong with you? You are pretty, you are educated. Someone is beating you now. What's going to happen when you get into his house? And a lot of times people see all the signs, but they ignore them for various reasons. Maybe the guy is rich. Maybe the guy, is taking care of all the expenses of the girl's home, So they go into the marriage thinking it's going to change. Let me shock you. You cannot change a man. You cannot change a man. So whatever you see now that you're not happy with, deal with it before you go into marriage. It's not going to change, unfortunately.
And that often I believe that some people are not ready to hear.
No, they don't want to, because there is always something. It's either you've lost sense of, how do I put it? Self-esteem, that maybe I can't get anyone better, or maybe money factor. A lot of times the men are there, even when he's doing Yahoo. He has a lot of money to throw around. You can get the best of cars, you can get the best of everything, jewelries, and and your hair, so they don't want to compromise on that. So they would rather go into the marriage and enjoy all the wealth while they're not happy.
Wow, that's unfortunate.
Very,
I mean,
very.
that is the physical part. Are there any other signs? Sometimes we hear of, signs and things that women should look out for. How about, because I hear of verbal abuse as well, that is not physical.
Yes, of course, we know that domestic violence comes in various ways. It's not just about physical. There is emotional abuse. The man will just talk down on the lady and run her down. Someone posted something that I saw on the internet yesterday. There was a conversation between a man and a woman that they're about to get married. And what the man was saying about the woman, I'm like, if this girl continues, that is if it's true, because you don't believe everything that is on the internet. If it is true, then they don't have a place together. And unfortunately, a lot of people don't see it. The man will come back and beg and probably give her the latest iPhone, then the relationship continues. And they continue like that until they get into marriage, and you think the man is going to change. He's never going to change. He will talk to you anyhow, anywhere. And because you've accepted him, you will continue to accept him until you are not able to accept him again.
Well, the conversation continues. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. It's still the gallery, a woman's perspective. Our topic today is how to keep an old marriage vibrant. And with me is still Mrs. Tola Ajayi. You said quite a few things concerning signs and things to look out for when the marriage is going south, because we want to keep marriages, vibrant. Like you have been in a marriage for 32 years. Now, when we identify some of these issues, let me use that word to play safe, how can they be corrected? Are there tips to give to our women folk concerning this? Sorry, because for me, I believe it's another area where we can keep that marriage vibrant.
I think it's important that before anyone goes into marriage, we should understand what communication is. Communication is very important in any relationship, not even in marriages alone. But in marriage, it's the number one thing. You need to sit down before you go into marriage and discuss certain things. Well, unfortunately, in our own days, we didn't discuss anything. We liked each other, and we went into marriage. It was stormy, I can tell you. It was stormy in the beginning. And of course, even in successful marriages, you discover that in some stages of your marriage, it will become stormy, it will become good, stormy again, and all that until you grow old. That's the way it is. So, but it's important to talk, because looking back, there are certain things that we probably will have talked about that we did not talk about. And you go into marriage. Let me give you a typical example. When we got married, I don't like people pressing toothpaste from the middle. It's very weird. I don't like people pressing toothpaste from the middle. My husband did that, and it got me really upset. Why would you do something like that? Press from the bottom. Do you know that that can create a lot of issue in a marriage? We'll fight over it. We'll not talk for the whole day because of that. So there are certain things, even though that looks so little, but whatever is going to cause you pain, whatever is going to, something that you know that you don't like, please talk about it. Even to who is going to put on the light when you're on bed, when you want to retire to bed, who's going to put on the light and all that. Little things. I don't like this. I don't like that. I don't like somebody doing this. Is it something you do? Snoring, for instance. Your partner snores. It gets you really mad. What are you going to do about it? Nothing. But I snore. I'm just saying, your husband snores and she says, I snore. So these are things that you talk about and you are okay with them. Some people cannot even tolerate certain things in a marriage. So please discuss it before you go into marriage. What about your in-laws? What about your sisters and your brothers? Are they coming to live with you? These are little things that can cause issues in marriages. Some women cannot accept their mother-in-law to come and stay with them. Some people cannot accept their husband's sisters or brothers to stay with them in the house. These are things that you need to discuss before you go into marriage so that it doesn't create any issue. So it's just important to, for couples to talk and understand each person, understand each personality. What's wrong with you? What are the things that you want? Nowadays, I know that in counseling, people talk about even how many children they want to have. We never had that. Like I said, we never had any.
There was no discussion about it.
It's just that, okay, I like him. So we never discussed how many children we're going to have, But nowadays, people do that because a lot of things are happening now. You cannot afford to have 4 kids, 5 kids when you cannot, take care of them. So from the beginning, they talk about it, we're going to have 2. But what they don't talk about is, if you say we're going to have 2, what if they are girls? If you say you are going to have 2 kids and the 2 are girls, what's going to happen? Because you have agreed that you are going to have 2, and the woman too is okay with the 2, now the man, after a while, the family members are saying, aren't you going to have a boy? Then he goes out. That's where the problem is.
So communication is very vital.
Very key.
When you see anything that is wrong, correct it immediately.
Yeah, and
before
do not
it becomes,
assume.
Do not assume.
Assumption also causes a lot of pressure in the family. Do not assume. Please just ask. Let me give you a typical example. Your husband told you, maybe you live on the island, and says, I have a business in Ikeja. I want to see someone in Ikeja. And he gets to Ikeja, and someone says, oh, the meeting is not going to hold in Ikeja. It's now going to be in the, which area again now? Let's say Magodo or Akomojo. Let's say Akomojo. And the man now leaves to Akomojo without informing the wife. When he left the house in the morning, he said he was going to Ikeja. Now, someone now saw him in Akomojo and now calls the wife, oh, I just saw your husband in Akomojo. And he didn't tell me he was going to Akomojo. And he came back home and he just, mentioned everything. Oh, the day went well, everything went well. And he forgot to mention that the meeting was not in Ikeja, it was in Akomojo. Assumption. So, oh, somebody saw you in Akomojo too. Oh, I forgot to mention. The meeting actually shifted from Ikeja to Akomojo. And that will end it. So we shouldn't assume.
Brilliant. I mean, as we round up, any other words of wisdom for our women folk?
I would say that before you get married, first of all, ask yourself, why do you want to get married? Do you want to get married because your friends are getting married? Do you want to get married because there is pressure from your home to get married? So that you just don't jump into the next available man. So you need to ask those questions. Why do I want to get married? I can tell you marriage is a beautiful thing, but only if you make it beautiful. Is it that after 32 years we do not fight, we do not quarrel? We do. We do, but we know how to manage ourselves because we know that divorce is not an option. We've gone this far. Whatever is going to be the problem, we'll have to sort it out. We have to. And that's why I said the God factor, because now both of us know what God is expecting from us. So, and we have kids who are married. So the example have been laid and we must continue in that regard. So it's very important that a woman or a man will understand the reason, of going into a marriage. Don't go into marriage because you want to show the whole world that you are married. Don't go into marriage because you want to show your friends, you want to pepper them. That's the word. You want to pepper them, you want to have the best of reception. Nowadays, I see, my daughter sent something to me on Instagram and I'm like, hey, I hope one day a bride or a groom will not die at the reception because of all these their stupid dances nowadays. Because they want to make their video to go viral. They do all sorts of things. They want to dance like a crazy person. And now you now fall and hit your head, and that's going to be the end. Who does that? So, and it's the pressure. Instagram weddings. I'm on Instagram day in, day out, and I look at things and I just laugh. That, what the hell is this? Of course, you know that in 6 months, the next thing you're going to read is that the marriage is broken up.
So, I mean, for keeping whatever age marriage, from maybe 10 years and above, that means communication, compassion, discussion. Commitment.
Marry your friend.
Marry your friend.
Marry your friend.
Some of this can actually help you keep that marriage vibrant.
Yeah. And
of course,
understand each other.
Yes.
I'm, for instance, I'm a social media person. My husband is not. I love to take pictures. He doesn't. But we manage ourselves.
So
I love to take pictures. He doesn't.
Again, compromise.
Yes.
It's a great pleasure having you come on the show, Mrs. Tola Ajayi. And thanks for those words of wisdom. I hope that our women will take something away from our discussion. And we pray that we all have such lasting marriages. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Our guest, Mrs. Tola Ajayi, talking about how to keep an old marriage vibrant by actually learning new things. Welcome back. Who is our Sisieko this week? Do find out.
Shafi Bello was born on October 9th in Lagos, Nigeria. She's a singer, an actress, and an entertainer. Shafi grew up in Nigeria but moved to the US in 1987. She moved back to Nigeria in 2009. In 1997, Shafi featured on her cousin Seyi Shodimu's song Love Me Jeje. She sang the chorus and the hook of the song. Her TV career includes recurring roles in TV series Teen Cell as Joanne Lawson, Taste of Love, where she plays Adesua and Femi Udugbemi's Battleground. She has appeared in several movies including It's Her Day, When Love Happens, Aya a Man, and Bomo Bomo Express. Besides being passionate about acting and singing, Bello is a fashion enthusiast. Shafi has been married for over 25 years. She and her husband have 2 children. In 2012, she was nominated at the Best of Nollywood Awards for Best Lead Actress in an English Movie.
It's been a brilliant show today. We hope you join us next week for another beautiful edition. I am Siju Alabi. Do stay well.